If you have ever lived with a cat, chances are you've experienced the mysterious and sometimes infuriating phenomenon of them knocking objects off tables, shelves, or counters. A glass of water left unattended, a pen placed too close to the edge, a small decorative item that you thought was safe. Before you know it, your cat has gently pawed it off and watched it tumble to the ground. This behavior often seems intentional, and many cat owners wonder if their pets are doing it out of spite, boredom, or simply for fun. The truth is, the psychology behind cats knocking things over is more fascinating and layered than it appears on the surface. And understanding it requires us to look into the instincts, behaviors, and emotional world of our feline companions. Cats are natural hunters, and their instincts are deeply ingrained even if they have lived indoors their entire lives. In the wild, cats rely heavily on their paws to sit, prod, and manipulate their environment. When they encounter prey like a mouse or an insect, they often tap it with their paw to see if it moves or reacts. This pawing behavior is essentially an investigative tool, helping them determine whether something is alive, edible, or dangerous. When your cat knocks a pen off the desk, what you are witnessing is a diluted form of this instinct. To a cat, that pen is like a potential prey item, and giving it a swipe allows them to test its response. The falling motion mimics prey movement, which in turn stimulates the cat's hunting drive. This is one reason why they find it so rewarding to continue doing it, even if it leaves you frustrated. But instincts alone don't tell the whole story. Cats are also highly intelligent and curious creatures. They interact with their environment to learn about it, and part of their mental stimulation comes from experimenting with cause and effect. A cat pushing an object off a table is, in a sense, running a tiny science experiment. They are discovering what happens when they apply force to an object. Does it roll? Does it bounce? Does it shatter? Or does it make a loud noise? This kind of experimentation satisfies their curiosity and sharpens their understanding of the physical world. For indoor cats, whose environments are often relatively predictable and controlled, these small acts of exploration become even more significant. Knocking things over gives them variety and excitement in a setting that might otherwise feel monotonous. There is also a strong social and communicative element to this behavior. Cats are incredibly good at learning what gets a response from their humans. If your cat pushes a water glass off the counter and you rush over, gasp, or even scold them, you've just given them attention. To the cat, this is feedback. And depending on their motivation, it can reinforce the behavior. Some cats, especially those who are bored or seeking interaction, realize quickly that knocking something over is a guaranteed way to make you come running. They may not understand the concept of property damage, but they absolutely understand that they have just succeeded in getting your eyes, your voice, and your energy focused on them. From their perspective, it works. This doesn't necessarily mean your cat is being mischievous on purpose. It's more likely they have learned that this is an effective tool to get your attention in a household where you may otherwise be busy or distracted. Another layer to consider is boredom and lack of stimulation. Cats are natural athletes, predators, and problem solvers. In the wild, they would spend hours stalking, chasing, and manipulating prey. Indoor life can sometimes leave them with excess energy and nowhere to put it. When a cat bats at an object on your shelf, it may be their way of creating a game for themselves. The unpredictable movement of the object as it falls provides mental and sensory stimulation. The sound of the object hitting the ground adds another element of excitement. For a cat with pent-up energy, this can be an entertaining and enriching activity. This is one of the reasons enrichment toys, climbing structures, and regular playtime are so important for indoor cats. Without outlets for their natural behaviors, they will invent their own, and sometimes that means clearing your countertops. It's also worth noting the role of sensory stimulation. Cats are tactile creatures, and they explore the world not just with their eyes and noses, but with their paws. Their paws are sensitive and full of nerve endings, making them excellent tools for exploring textures, weights, and surfaces. When a cat repeatedly taps at an object before finally sending it crashing to the floor, they may simply be enjoying the sensory feedback. Each object feels different, reacts differently, and creates a unique sensory experience. This form of exploration is not so different from a human child who touches, drops, or plays with objects to learn about them. The difference, of course, is that the cat doesn't understand the human concept of "don't break that." some owners wonder if cats knock things over out of spite or malice. While it can sometimes feel that way, especially if your cat seems to target your favorite belongings, the reality is that cats don't think in terms of revenge or intentional destruction. Their motivations are rooted in instinct, curiosity, and sometimes in the desire for interaction. If you happen to yell or chase them afterward, the cat may interpret that as part of the game, reinforcing the behavior further. So, while it might look like they're being naughty on purpose, what's actually happening is far more innocent and instinctive. Interestingly, personality plays a role in this too. Some cats are naturally more playful, curious, and energetic than others. A confident and adventurous cat may be far more likely to engage in knocking things over than a shy or cautious cat. Age is also a factor. Kittens and young cats are particularly prone to this behavior because they are in the peak of their exploratory phase. Everything is new, everything is worth testing, and their boundless energy fuels a desire to interact with their environment constantly. Older cats may do it less frequently, though even senior cats can indulge in the occasional swipe if they are feeling playful or bored. There is also a psychological satisfaction element at play. Cats are creatures of habit, but they also thrive on stimulation and novelty. When they discover that they can manipulate their environment in a way that produces a dramatic effect, a noise, a movement, or even your reaction, it creates a sense of accomplishment. In a way, it reinforces their agency and control over their world. This can be particularly appealing in an indoor setting, where many other aspects of their environment are predictable and controlled by humans. From a human perspective, this behavior can be disruptive and even costly if fragile items are involved. But from the cat's perspective, it is entirely natural and even beneficial. It keeps their instincts sharp, provides mental stimulation, and often helps them connect with you. The challenge for cat owners is to redirect this behavior in a way that is safe and appropriate. Providing interactive toys, puzzle feeders, and regular play sessions can give cats the stimulation they crave without sacrificing your belongings. Creating cat-friendly spaces with shelves or play stations designed for exploration can also help satisfy their need to test and manipulate objects. Another important point is to understand how your response influences the behavior. If your cat consistently knocks things over when you're not paying attention to them, they may have learned that this is the most effective way to get your focus. In that case, increasing positive interaction throughout the day, playing with them, talking to them, or engaging in short training sessions can reduce the likelihood that they will resort to destructive attention-seeking tactics. Ignoring the behavior when it happens, rather than reacting dramatically, can also reduce its reinforcement value, though this can be difficult when your favorite mug has just been shattered. It's fascinating to note that this behavior has been observed in cats across cultures and environments, from house cats in apartments to barn cats surrounded by fields. It seems to be a universal feline trait, rooted deeply in their evolutionary history. Watching something fall and responding to the movement is part of what has made cats such effective hunters for thousands of years. Even in a modern home, with no need to hunt for food, those instincts are alive and well, manifesting in ways that sometimes collide with human expectations of order and safety. Ultimately, when a cat knocks things over, they are expressing a blend of instinct, curiosity, playfulness, and communication. It is one of those quirks that make cats so endlessly fascinating and sometimes frustrating as companions. Instead of viewing it purely as misbehavior, understanding the psychology behind it allows us to see it as a window into their wild heritage and their need for mental and physical engagement. By appreciating this behavior for what it really is, and by providing alternatives that channel their instincts in positive ways, we can live more harmoniously with our feline friends. And perhaps the next time your cat pushes a pen off the desk and watches it fall with that unmistakable feline satisfaction, you'll see it less as an act of defiance and more as a glimpse into the playful, curious, and instinctive nature that makes cats so unique.